Oh, we're refilming now?
Well, why not?
Sure. I don't know why you have to clap. Do you know that I don't know why you have to clap? I just know that you're supposed to. It's to sync up the audio and the video. I don't know. Okay.
Sure.
Hey guys, my name is Christina. I'm back this week. Today we're going to be hearing from my very good, I was going to say old, but I would say long-term maybe friend,
We're
Finn.
not old.
This is Finn. Finn and I have gone to church together since I was 5. So like 20 years maybe?
Yeah,
just about 20 years. I think it's fair to say that we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. But today Finn's going to have some conversations with us. Do you want to introduce yourself now?
Hey, I'm Finn. I'm 24, and I go to third space in Waterloo.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
If you ever want to come visit, I often am at third space in Waterloo also. Sometimes Finn is there when he's not at school.
Sunday mornings at 10:30.
Woohoo!
Martin Luther University College in Waterloo. It's a good time.
It honestly is a good time, and there are lots of babies, which is good. And what are we talking about today?
We are going to talk a little bit about being trans and my journey with that and through faith and how that's all kind of wrapped up.
Yeah. So is that how you identify?
Yes, I came out 3 years ago as a trans male.
If I say is that how you identify, is that true, or do I say is that who you are?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I just wanted to diminish. You know what I mean? Okay, so you came out 3 years ago as a trans girl?
Yeah, like 2.5, something like that. I don't know.
Congratulations.
2017?
20...
2.5
Something.
2017?
Okay.
August 21st, 2017. No,
Hey.
that was surgery day. No, August 18th, 2017.
Okay.
Surgery was August 21st, 2019.
Oh, I want to reintroduce myself. Because I want to say that I'm a cis woman. So that people can start saying that about themselves.
Yeah, honestly, please.
Okay.
People
ready?
need to... Yeah. Because trans is literally, it means the
It's
opposite
just not,
as.
right? It's not a
Trans
big
is Latin
thing.
for the opposite.
Really?
Yes, cis is Latin for the same as.
I'm going to put this into the video now at the end. This is going to be the bloopers. Wait, for real though?
Yeah.
Cis is the same. So the same as what though?
Anything. Cis is the prefix.
So like cisgender would mean
The same as...
the same gender as I was assigned?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like the same gender as everybody else. And I was like, that's inherently not true though! Okay. So like cisgender would be like the same gender as other people would.
The
as
same
like the
gender as-
doctors
yeah.
assigned me at birth, and trans would be just
Yeah.
other than.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
literally-
why we are
it's
on the
Latin.
internet.
That's it.
We know everybody loves Latin, so. Hey guys, my name is Christina. You've seen me before on this channel. I'm 24. I'm a cisgendered woman, which means that when I was born, the doctors were like, she a woman, and I also am still like, yep, am a woman. And today I'm here with my long-term, not old friend, but my long-term friend, Finn, who I've known since probably for the last 20 years. But this is Finn. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Finn. I'm 23. You have not seen me on this channel before. And I am a trans male, which means that they were like, hey, female. And I was like, not so much. And that's where we are now.
So today, you want to tell them what we're going to be talking about?
We are talking about how I'm trans and what that means in terms of religion and church and community.
And about how, like, what it means to be trans in the Lutheran Church, how people have responded to you in that. Just talking. A little chit-chat. Does that seem right?
All of the above.
Here we go. So, Finn, how long have you been a part of the Lutheran Church?
My entire life. All 23 years of them.
And that's the editing. What churches have you been a part of?
I started going to Christ Lutheran when I was born, and then I went to both there and Mount Zion for a number of years. And then in the last 2 years, I started going to Third Space, which is the newer, different church through Martin Luther University College at Laurier. Otherwise, I just like to keep up with my Lutheran community when I'm away at school, and just connect with people and talk to them, Skype, have coffee, that kind of thing, just to stay involved in the community.
In the Lutheran community?
Yes.
Nice. I appreciate when we chat.
It's nice.
Still good?
Mhm.
Okay. If I just ask you questions, is that cool?
Yeah.
And if I ask you a question that you don't want to answer or that's not an appropriate question to ask, will you just let me know?
Yeah.
And I will not release footage that you don't want to be released, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I think that, a lot of people maybe don't, have heard of trans but don't actually know what's up. What does it mean to be a trans person?
The most boiled down definition is really that you were born in a body that you do not identify with. So for me, it means that I was assigned female at birth, and that's just not accurate. So 2.5 years ago, I came out as a transgender male and started transitioning, and that has been kind of a crazy journey of figuring myself out and just finally getting to become myself in my 20s, which is not when most people figure it out, but that's okay. It works.
What has it been like to go through the process of coming out as a trans male in the church?
It's been better than I expected, I think. Having a new congregation to go to has been really interesting because I started going to Third Space after I came out, which is very helpful because it's hard to transition somewhere that people have known you since you were born, because people just have a harder time transitioning, dealing with your transition or knowing what to call you now, and it's just a whole mess of things that I didn't want to have to deal with at the time, because especially early transition, you're just more fragile, and it's such a big victory when someone's like, hey, that guy over there, and you're like, yes. And it's just so much harder when that doesn't happen. So it was just nice to be able to go to a new church where the only person who knew me was the pastor and the pastor's family, instead of being in a church where literally everybody has known me for years. And then I have since gone back to the other churches, and that's been nice, and it's been easier now that I'm more male passing, and there's just been some time apart that people haven't seen me, so it's been really helpful to start at a new congregation.
So taking some distance from where you've been forever was really helpful for your transition?
Very. Just, being able to figure out who I am apart from people they think they know who you are just because they've known you for 20 years. So.
Sure. When you introduce yourself to somebody, or when you out yourself as trans to somebody, I imagine that you have maybe not always gotten the perfect reaction. Seems true or not true?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering if you could, because some people may not have ever encountered a trans person, or may have, that's not the way that I want to say that. Hold on. Because I think that some people maybe have never met a trans person, or maybe don't know that they have met a trans person, or maybe have and don't feel that they reacted in the appropriate way. How would you like people to respond or react, or do you want them to respond or react?
So I guess the first thing I kind of think of is whether you're hearing it from the trans person themselves, or you're hearing it from family member, friend, someone else. Because things come up. Someone recently at Third Space found out that I was trans because my mom said something, and they had no idea, and I kind of forgot that they weren't there when I started, so that they have no idea. So I thought it was kind of interesting that, wherever it's coming from, I think the most important part is to just ask what their preferred pronouns are.
Okay, say it again.
I think the most important thing is just to ask what their pronouns are, because that's the best way. Don't assume you know what they are, or that because someone is trans that they use he, him, or she, her pronouns. There are actually a lot of pronouns. And so just ask, I think, is the biggest thing, and then take note of it. Go home and even just practice a couple times, because it will become natural to say it, and you will not mess up. Once you know it, you just have to put the work in to not mess up, is really what it is. So I think that's the most important thing, is just making sure that you're getting the pronouns right, because it means a lot when someone gets it right, and it's really, really demoralizing when someone uses the wrong pronouns. So that'd be the biggest thing I would say.
Sure. What I've also found is that I was going to say as an ally, but I don't know if that, when that feels gross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it.
You're am I just calling myself an ally?
Yeah,
but no other person has given me that status?
Yeah, but also
Can you be an ally?
Are you asking me if I can? I'm trying to be.
But
I think part of being...
I just mean, like... like, where do we draw the line? Of, like... Because, I mean, I guess it's, like, LGBTQ gets all lumped in together, but, like... Trans people can hate gay people, and gay people can hate trans people. So, I guess those are... I don't know.
Okay, no, here's what I'm going to ask you. Here's what I'm going to say to the other humans, not to you, because I'm not going to transplain. Okay.
Nobody's ever used that word before. All right.
I've never either, but I
It
kind of
works.
like it.
Wow, that was
It's very verbally pleasing.
not a nice voice crack.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Something that I also know that I'm adopting, and there are other people in my circles who are adopting, is just when I introduce myself in general, I say, like, hi, I'm Christina, my pronouns are she, her, which I've heard can help normalize it for people who maybe don't present the way that they identify. Is that a helpful thing?
100%. I've seen more and more people, especially on social media, starting to use their pronouns. They'll have their name and then pronouns, and I think it's a phenomenal way because now anyone can use their pronouns and it doesn't out them. The same way more and more people are just saying partner when they refer to their partner, and then it just leaves it open, and whether it's female or male or NB or anything else, it doesn't matter because it's just normalized. And I think that's really cool that we can do that. So the more people who can use their pronouns, or you're sending off an email and you're adding in your place of business and all these things, just throw in your pronouns too. I think it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, and if it's not hurtful as a cis woman, so a person who's not trans, it's not harmful for me to be very clear with people that I use she, her pronouns. Those are my pronouns. And so putting it in my social media bios, putting it on at the end of emails, whenever I'm at like a conference or a place where there are name tags, I'll say my name is Christina, and then I'll add she, her onto the name tag, just as ways to be like, if I do it, then maybe other people do it, and then for the people who it might be risky for, or,
Yeah.
Because, like, if I say, my name is Christina, my pronouns are she, her, then maybe it's less awkward for if nobody had said their pronouns, and then you were to say, hi, my name's Finn, my pronouns are he, him, then people would be like, whoa, alert, alert, as opposed to being like, hey, everybody did it, so it's no big deal, and then we're not singling people out.
Exactly, and then it means that it's a safer space for me to come out. And then even if I say my pronouns, I don't have to worry the same about the risk associated with that. Because unfortunately there still is risk associated with being trans, even in Canada. So it's just nice when other people make it a knowing safe space, because people are using those pronouns, and that's a good way to just be an ally and just to make it a safer place for everyone.
Good. 2018, I was doing this 35 under 35 ELCIC Young Adults project, and I got a message from Steve Hofford, who was saying that he was putting together a slideshow of LGBTQ2SI plus youth, young adults in the church, and he asked if he could use your profile or if he could help feature you. I said, I cannot give you that information. We have to talk to the young adult themselves, which I just say because it's very important, and I want to say it very publicly, that it's very important to not just pass on young adult information to other people. It's very important to get their permission first. I might cut that out. Probably not. We'll see.
It's an important thing.
It's very important.
I've told specific people that they can out me to whoever they want to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that comes up. And that's fine. But that's because I've told certain people that they can do that. And I trust the way that they're going to do that. And then the rest of the people, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Would you say that when somebody finds out that one of their friends, somebody in their life, is trans or trans queer, etc., is that now public information that they can just share with people and talk about with people?
I mean, to me, I started with originally telling people just not to say anything until word kind of spreads more. And then I went to specific people saying, like, hey, you kind of understand, or we've had a lot of conversations on this. Can you break the ice for me on this? I was returning to a workplace, and I had one of my coworkers tell everyone, because I just didn't want to deal with it, and it's just a lot to go around and tell 100 people, hey, I'm trans now. So I just had them do it for me before I got back, which is great. And I've had a couple people who were specifically, like, as you interact with people that I haven't seen yet, if you could just let them know as it comes up in conversation, that's a great way to do it, because then it's not like spreading a rumor, although it's true. And just if it comes up, go for it, you know, but it's public knowledge, so I don't know.
So for you, people who are watching this video, is it okay if they then talk with their friends and share the video around, and if they tell people?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been public for a couple years now, so
Congratulations.
there you go. Thank you.
But would you say if a new friend or a new person in their life comes out and wants to share they're trans, and I think maybe fair to say also trans, queer, etc.
Questioning whatever.
Yeah, gay, lesbian, any of it. Is it automatic permission that they can go tell whoever they want?
No.
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 Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Have a conversation with that person. Hey, are you comfortable with me telling other people? Are you, what do they want? Some people want to keep it a secret for over a year before they want to actually tell people.
Yeah.
And other people like me just kind of leapt into it. So just find out from the person what they want, because you don't know.
Yeah. The big thing is talk to people, right? And like find out where their boundaries are and what they're comfortable with. And if somebody asks you, I would say, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. If somebody were to be like, before you were so publicly out, if somebody were like, yo, is that person trans? Like, what do I do? I would say, I don't know. You should ask them. Or I would say, I don't know, and I don't think that's an appropriate question. Or I would say,
it's all James Bond. I'm not at liberty to discuss this.
Yeah. And does that seem like the right reaction? To say either I can't tell you, or that's not my information to share, or to maybe a little bit lie and say, oh, I don't know. That's definitely not a conversation I've had with them, so definitely I can't tell you.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's important not to out anyone else, especially if the environment may not be safe. And you may think it's safe, but it's not for them.
Yeah.
So just making sure that you're always just checking in with that person in your life. Because sometimes it's overwhelming for me to even think about, have I told all these people and whatever, and so it's just easiest if someone has a question, just ask me, and I'll tell you if you can say something, if whatever, and I may not answer your question, and that's fine too, but just ask me, because it's easier than me trying to remember what I've said to who.
You talk to a lot of people in a week. It's a lot of humans to tell.
Yes.
So last Synod Convention, 2018 maybe, you were involved in some stuff that was happening at Synod Convention, and I was wondering if you would share a little bit about what that was and how you got involved and what the outcome has been.
So you were doing a project.
True.
35 under 35, which is 35 young people in the church, and just kind of promoting that we're here and in the church. So yeah, I used my profile to publicly come out to the church, because so far people in my small circle had known, but church-wide people didn't know, for all the people who have known me. So I use that just to show the church that there are trans people in the community. And the reaction was really positive. I had a lot of people reach out to me who I have known throughout the years, either from other churches that I've been to, or I used to go to a church camp, Mush out in Nova Scotia. So I had a lot of people reach out to me from there too, and just saying like, hey, I just heard, and now just congratulating me, and it's been an interesting thing, because a lot of them don't know they're trans people, so I get to kind of be someone that they have known and want to make an effort, because I think a lot of people, they're fine with trans people or anyone LGBTQ+, but they don't actually get to put that into practice because they don't actually know anyone. So now it's kind of an opportunity to show that you care and that you want to learn more and just be a good human.
Yep, that's true. So what... This is gonna, like, theoretically, this is a really easygoing, naturally flowing conversation, and then in practice, it's not. how has your relationship with faith changed or grown or developed as you've been experiencing all of the... That's not a good question. Is that a good question?
That's a fun question.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask it properly then.
Yep.
Okay, so Finn, have you experienced a changing or a shifting of faith, or how has your relationship with faith or church changed in the last couple of years?
It's kind of interesting because coming out, I never questioned what that would mean for faith. It was a question of how are people in the church going to react? Is everything going to be okay? Because the church had never talked about our acceptance of trans people, and I hadn't met anyone who was trans, so I didn't really know how that was going to go. But I knew that it still had nothing to do with my faith and my connection with God, because God and church are still two different things, and the reaction you get from God is not always the same that you get from people, unfortunately. So I never questioned what it would mean for me as a Lutheran. That never changed. It just was like, now I need to find a space that I feel more comfortable and the most comfortable.
Sure. What do you mean? Can you talk a little bit more about how God and church are different?
I think that people always try their best, and we're just trying to really interpret what the Bible says and figure out how to be good people. But we're humans, we always make errors, and with God it's just perfect. And so there's no question of acceptance, and the Lutheran Church is so huge on grace too that it's just nothing's ever an issue that I've never thought anything's gonna ruin my relationship with God or with my own faith. It just might impact how things are in a building.
Sure. And how those relationships with the human beings are, as opposed to your relationship with God. And
exactly. And then there's pastors that I've known for my entire life, or at least a number of years, and so it's kind of hard because they become these role models and stuff to you, and so you just want the perfect reaction from them, which you don't always get, just because people are people. So it's definitely just harder with what else comes from being in a community of the church, the pros and cons of that.
In your experience, or from what you've seen, from what you've read, from the conversations that you've had, how would you say that we're doing as the Lutheran Church when it comes to people being trans rights, queer rights, acceptance of queer and trans and LGBTQ2S, IA plus folks? How do you think we're doing?
I think that we've got a good start. I think that something I've noticed over the last number of years with LGBTQ plus people is we say that we're accepting, but we don't really have the population to back that up yet. And I think that more and more churches are getting better at educating themselves. Third Space has created a mission statement that is really reflective of the entire population. And so they specifically mention, you're welcome here regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, sexuality, marriage status. They list anything that I can think of. And so I think it's a really cool thing that they specifically go out of their way to state that. And I think more churches need to adopt letting other people know, because I think a lot of churches are phenomenal, and when you walk in the doors, you're accepted. But so far people aren't walking in the doors because people just still have the stigma attached that religion is judgmental and that they're not going to be welcome.
Sure.
So I'm just finding more ways to go out into the community to let people know that it's a safe place.
I actually didn't know that Third Space had a mission statement like that.
Well, you gotta listen a little bit better at church.
Well, that's true. So Finn, I was also wondering, is there anything that you and the church have created or that you found really helpful or that has been really impactful to you since you've transitioned that you would want to maybe share with people?
So I kind of stumbled upon someone doing a renaming ceremony, and I asked my pastor, and she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we had a renaming ceremony last fall, and it was really, really cool to get to do. It's almost like a baptism, and we got to be in community and just celebrate my transition and my new name. And it was this official, the church is okaying my transition is kind of how it felt. And it was like this validation because I was baptized and confirmed and everything under a different name. So it's really cool that for me it's like a re-baptism kind of thing as me now. And it was a cool thing, and so I think that more churches should do it, because we kind of had a hard time finding information on it because it's still pretty new. So I think if more churches could adopt that for anyone who wants it, I think is a really interesting thing.
And so where did you originally find it? Did, like, somebody in a church that you were going to did it, or you found it on the internet? Or?
I saw it on Facebook from some connection to the Lutheran Church, someone somewhere, and I thought that was really interesting. And so we just ran with it.
And was it originally like a thing that people did with trans folks, or it was renaming in a different capacity and you adopted it?
No, it was for trans people. It was I saw it with a trans male, and they did a whole ceremony and barbecue, and so we did a ceremony and lit a candle and had a luncheon, and it was a good time.
Amazing. Would you share a little bit more? Is it like during the service, like a baptism, you say a prayer and then people affirm you and say that they'll walk with you, or? Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, it was kind of based off of baptism, and so you have, there was a part where it's like, what is your name? So I got to just say my full name, which is really cool because that was kind of the first time that I'd done it in a, I don't know, important public setting.
Yeah.
And then we lit my baptismal candle, which I thought was really cool. And my mom cried because she does,
yeah.
And the community just said kind of the similar lines of, we will support Finn in his journey to faith.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cry?
No.
I would have cried. I don't blame your mom for crying. What are you doing in life these days?
I am in school right now, trying to hopefully become a border services officer. But we'll see. Still in school. Got another year, so.
But you're doing the thing.
I'm educating myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Finn, what are you hopeful for in the Lutheran Church going forward?
I'm hopeful that we just have more diversity. We gain more people from more backgrounds, whether it be LGBTQ+, whether it be people coming from other countries or other backgrounds, or just everything. I just want more people to find community in the church the way that we have, and just that we have more inclusivity, and we actually can really demonstrate what we've been talking about, and that we are open and inclusive. So let's get some more people in here that actually can demonstrate that.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. And why, my big question these days is, why are you Lutheran?
I guess I was born Lutheran, got some pastors in my family, and so it was just an easy, natural thing to grow up that way. And then I got older and went through confirmation and decided that it's something I wanted to keep learning about and keep doing, and having conversations with different people of faith in my life. And then after transitioning, it's just been a really great automatic acceptance that I think a lot of other religions don't always have, where they're still figuring out the conversation the way we are. But I just felt acceptance, and I believe in asking questions and in just being in community with people regardless of their background. And I've really connected with that.
Do you have places where you'd like people to find you or get in touch with you?
I'm on the social medias. There's a couple of them. We'll link them down there, and you can send me a message if you want to connect, or just ask any questions.
Sure. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what are we going to link? Email?
All of the above.
Okay, great.
I really only tweet about trans things, so it's a...
I don't think I follow you on Twitter.
I don't tweet very often, but yeah.
Guess who's gonna... I'm gonna follow my own links in the description and make sure that I follow Finn on Twitter, because I think we've been friends for 20 years, and I probably should follow you on Twitter.
Well, I've only had Twitter for a year, so it's not your fault.
Oh, good. All right, it's your fault then. Perfect.
I just got it to tweet about trans things.
As you should.
No.
Great. Should everybody just come and DM you and ask you and email you all of their questions about, like, what does it mean to be trans and all of these things? Or...
Well, the plan is for us to release another video where we talk about some trans information, so that if you have questions, you can hopefully find out the answers you're looking for. Otherwise, if you have some questions, yeah, you can definitely just like DM me and ask me. I'm pretty open about a lot of things. I've done a lot of different talks too in places where I'm often more open, because I know that if you're asking me a question, it's because you want to learn. And so if you ask me, you know, say, hey, I just want some more information on this, or I'd really love to just learn more, that goes a long way for me, because there is an obligation right now to kind of inform people.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to help people know, because I'd rather you ask me, an actual trans person, instead of I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend on the internet, because I was faced with a lot of misinformation surrounding my transition and everything when I first came out, and all kinds of people assuming things, and I would just rather tell you. And it's going to be different for me than it is for another trans person, potentially. So if you have questions, just ask them, and I will let you know to the best of my ability for me.
Do you speak for all trans people?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Even the trans people that I know really well, and we have had similar transitions, it's still different. And I still can't answer questions for them, or know anything, or make assumptions about how someone else is going to transition, because some people want to do a full transition, and some people don't.
Yep.
And there's so many stages in between, and more surgeries than you would even think. And so you just can't assume that someone's going to do the same thing. It's not a preset female to male or male to female or whatever. It's you can't assume.
So you do not speak for trans women?
Definitely not.
Do you speak for trans non-binary folks?
No.
Do you speak for trans people of color?
No.
Do you speak for all trans males?
No.
Okay. So
Just
you
me.
speak for just you.
That's it.
Okay. And yet, some of the things you say might be relatable to other experiences.
They can be applicable to multiple people in multiple different variations of being transgender, because transgender is still the umbrella term. Basically, transgender is the opposite of cisgender. So she's cisgender. She identifies with the gender she was born with. I don't. That's all it is. So this is anyone who is not cisgender is transgender. And that's a big umbrella. And that means a whole bunch of different things. And it's more complicated than people think. We'll explain it to you in another video.
Also, just so you guys know, I'm going to link some resources in the description of this video for if you have questions, or if you'd like to do a little bit more research on trans folks, what it means to be trans. I'll include some resources from trans people themselves, maybe some other YouTube videos to check out, and that will be in the description box down below. Are you going to check those out?
Yeah, of course I am.
Good. Put your keys away. Do better. Okay. Nice. That was the clap. Should I say, do you want me to say I'm a cisgender woman, which means that when the doctors at birth were like, she a woman, I have thus far been like, yup.
I think that's a phenomenal way to do it.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
This is so irritating, this one piece of hair, that every time I look at the camera is not in its barrette. I know that this is about you. Hold on, I'll bring it back to you in one moment.
It's fine. Part of my hair has been doing a lot of things.
Do you need a barrette?
Yeah, I do, because
Do
my
you?
hair won't go. It doesn't go to the right anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna get you to move 1.5 centimeters in. Perfect. Because now we don't look like there's awkwardly where like, stop, don't touch me. Which like, stop, don't touch me, but like, it's fine.
I don't know. It's weird because like you know people and then you just like don't know them anymore.
Sure. Do you want me to introduce you? Sure. Or do you want to introduce yourself? Oh my god. Finley. Okay. Should I? It's fine. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Look, I'm a professional YouTuber. Okay. Oh, you're right. I got nervous. Ready?
See?
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Christina. Today I'm here with my very good friend Finn. Finn, introduce yourself.
Well, you just did, so I don't really have to.
I don't know if that's gonna play before our video.
But you also just said this is Finn, so.
Oh my god, stop. Why are you Lutheran? I think that's how I'm gonna phrase that. Is it okay? I'm also gonna stop snapping this thing. I only snap at people, not at videos.
It's false.
It's
Nothing like rage into a video. You know, you really missed out by being away at school. Hannah came.
Did she? It's my sister. I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, because you were at school whenever.
Yeah, but I would have come back.
Yeah, well.
Just, next time.
Like 2 people from my life came.
Your mom
Hannah and Alicia.
Well, those are good people to have, though.
What's funny is that, like, me just being like, yeah, be a good person, is just, like, all these people are like, wait, it's, like, just the most, like, I don't know. If you're not nice to LGBTQ plus people, you're... But, like, what's a nicer way to say that? Because a lot of people still don't think that. And, yeah.
Can you grab it? And the pen? Thank you. I want to make sure that I